Hello, beautiful soul. So I wanted to share something with you that took me a long time to figure out when it comes to communicating with spirit and opening up my psychic abilities and using my psychic abilities. And it took me a long time to figure this out. So I wanted to share this with you. It's very simple. It's so easy that it almost feels like it wouldn't do anything, but it does. It is so instrumental in opening up your psychic abilities. It is so instrumental in communicating with the other side. It is so instrumental in trusting your spirit guides and trusting your own inner intuition. This one little thing that I'm going to show you is just amazing. And so simple. But at the same time, it is a skill and it's something that you have to develop, especially if you're not used to doing this. And I can tell you, excuse me, what it has done for me is before doing this, and I promise I'm going to tell you what it is. Before doing this, I had a lot of self-doubt when it come to communicating with the other side and trusting my intuition, and also a lot of blocks when it came to my psychic abilities early on. Now, I started working with spirit and started working with psychic abilities when I was 7 years old, and I'm 49 now. And it took me up until I was in my early 20s to figure out this one thing that actually works. But it also took me time to get used to using this skill, get used to doing this on a regular basis. And I had to work on other things too. Now, when we talk about working with our psychic abilities and communicating with spirit and trusting our spirit guides and tapping into that other side of the world, we have to understand that it doesn't always mean that we're just working in that world, that we're just doing things to work with the spirit world or work with our psychic abilities. It also means we have to do things on the outside of our work, outside of that as well, in our real human life world. And that's not to say that the spirit world is not real, because it's absolutely so real. It's so real. But I think a lot of times, and this is something that it happened to me, was that I got so involved in developing my psychic abilities and talking to the spirit world. And when things were rolling with that, it felt so good, especially being able to escape my human body for a moment and not have to feel the human stuff that was going on in my life throughout different times of my life. And I got so swept up in the other side, the spirit world, the psychic abilities, that I forgot that there's this human part of me that needs to be nurtured and healed as well. And the more I heal my humanness, the more I come back to my human body, the more I work in different modalities when it comes to somatics and brain retraining and just all the other things, therapy and things like that in the human body, in my human brain, the easier it is to open up my psychic abilities. The easier it is to communicate to the other side, because then I don't have all this other stuff weighing me down. So this skill that I'm going to teach you, that I hope that you continue to practice, because the more you practice it, the easier it becomes, will not only help you with your spirit walk and developing your psychic abilities and trusting your intuition and trusting your spirit guides and hearing the messages coming from the spirit world for you. It's also going to help you in your human world as well. It's going to help you deal with stress better. It's going to help you calm down more. It's going to help you release what doesn't serve you in your human self. It's going to help you come back to yourself. So it's just a skill that works on your body, mind, and spirit. So I'm going to teach you what it is. Okay. You're going to laugh and you're going to be like, what? Because that's how I was. Silence. The skill of being silent. The skill of using silence to tap into the spirit world and open yourself up to your psychic abilities and gifts and trust your intuition and also help your human body heal. Silence is amazing. And I'm going to tell you, when you first start practicing the skill of being silent, it's going to feel very uncomfortable if you're not used to it. It's going to feel your ego and your brain are just going to be going crazy. It's just going to be like, what are we doing? We're not supposed to be silent. And with silence, there's also stillness. So if you're not used to being still and in silence, and you're used to like going actively, reading a lot of books, watching a lot of videos, practicing a lot of practices. If you're working with your psychic abilities on a regular basis, then you're going to be practicing a lot of things and you're just going to be doing all the things all the time. And you want to soak up all the information. At least that's what I've done. When you start practicing silence and stillness, your brain goes a little haywire and it doesn't know what you're doing. It doesn't understand. It thinks you're like wasting time. But the truth of it is when we become silent, when we become still, we can actually hear what's going on. We can hear the messages from the spirit world. We can hear our intuition. We can hear what guidance we need, whether it's body, mind, or spirit, whether it's with your psychic abilities or your own physical healing. You will begin to hear what it is that you need to do in every moment. And so that doesn't mean you're going to sit in silence all day long. I talk a lot. Trust me, I do not sit in silence all day long. That doesn't mean that you can't be doing all the other things as well. But what that does mean, and I encourage you to do, is find time in your day, yes, daily, for at least 5 minutes of silence and stillness, just sitting in silence. You can be laying down, you could be sitting in a chair, you could sit on the floor, you can sit outside, just silence and stillness. And what that's going to look like when you first do it. And I always say, start off with 5 minutes and work your way up. If you want to continue, you just keep adding 5 more minutes. And I say start with 5 minutes of silence and stillness every day for a week and then add on. You can just add on a minute, do 6 minutes. And eventually, I'm able to sit in an hour of silence and stillness. And this isn't meditation. This is just sitting in silence and stillness. This is letting your mind wander. This is letting things come to you. Now, you can set the tone before you go into this practice. You can set the tone. And what I recommend is when you first start this practice of silence and stillness, don't do it in a way that you're expecting something from it. Don't ask anything from it to begin with. That comes later. The first step of this is to let your brain get used to the silence in your ego and your mind and your body and the stillness. Let it get used to the stillness and silence for 5 minutes a day. Because if you're not used to that, it's going to be very uncomfortable at first. And you're going to want to be like, this is pointless. I don't want to do this anymore. And your brain is going to be feeding you all kinds of things that you could be doing right now. Why are we even doing this? What's the point? It's going to do that. And that's normal. Eventually, over time, that becomes quiet. Your brain starts to go, oh, this is our time for silence and stillness. And your body goes, oh, This is our time for silence and stillness, and that's okay. And then you begin to crave it. Like I crave it every day. I just want to sit in silence and stillness and do nothing. And at first I felt guilty about it. At first, when I first started doing this years ago, I was just like, this is pointless. I'm not doing it. What's the point? But over time, I started getting the benefits of it in all areas of my life, body, mind, and spirit. And I also noticed that when I'm blocked psychically, because it happens, when I can't receive messages, when my body is feeling sluggish and bogged down, I look back and realize I have not done my practice of silence or silence or stillness in a long time. And then I get back into it. You can always get back into it. So it is with consistency though. When you're first training your brain and your body to be okay with silence and stillness, it's consistency. You do have to show up for yourself. I'm going to tell you every single day for at least 5 minutes, wherever that is. And you don't have to have, your environment per se does not have to be silent. I'm just saying, like sometimes my dogs are barking when I'm in my silent time. Sometimes, the TV might be on in the other room type of thing. You don't have to find like a exact silent place. In fact, when you first start doing this practice, don't worry about the outside noise. Just think about silence and stillness in the way that you're just sitting here, not talking, not doing anything, and you're just being silent within yourself, as in you're just not adding anything to it. Your mind can be going crazy. Your mind can be thinking all kinds of thoughts, but you're still sitting in silence with yourself and stillness, no matter what's going on the outside. Because eventually the point of it is to be able to use this skill everywhere. You could be in the middle of the grocery store and you're like, okay, I need a silent moment with myself and stillness. And you just stop with your cart, even just for a minute. And everything else could be going around you. And it just all goes to silence. That's, in time, that can work that way. And that's what I do a lot of times especially when I need to use my gifts. When I was doing a lot of psychic fairs, I had to have that skill. I had to be able to just be in like a silent bubble within myself in order to tap into other people's energies and give messages. And so I had to learn this silent bubble. Let's call it that. It's your silent force field, your silent bubble. And when you develop that skill over time, when I was doing psychic fairs, I didn't hear nothing on the outside of me. I didn't hear all the activity, the people, nothing. I was right here in my silent force field bubble, and just the messages would flow through. Now, once I was done, then all that activity came back. So it's possible to do that. But in the beginning, when you're used to it, don't expect that to happen right away. It takes time. The time just really depends on how much you show up for yourself on a regular basis with developing this skill. Now, if you can find a silent place, that's the next step. It's like after you've done it for a week, the next week, encourage you, add a couple minutes and find a silent place. Go into your closet, go into your bathroom, go out in nature, go somewhere that there is no noise on the outside of you. And be in that silence. It's different. It's a different feeling. And your brain and your body are be like, what is going on here? We're not used to this. Eventually, it gets used to it. I promise you. And this, again, is not meditation. This is just being silent. And you can use this with meditation, but you don't have to meditate to be silent and be still. And sometimes I get more out of doing that than meditation. So it just really depends on what it is that you need that day. But I highly recommend that you begin this process. So, and then over time, it will build. And then the next, after that, what you can do is you can go into your silent and stillness time with an intention. If you're working on, you need insight on your psychic abilities. And maybe you don't know what your psychic abilities are. Maybe you just need some help and clarification. You can go into your silent moment before you start and just go, ask out loud, I would like to know what my psychic abilities are. And then go in silence. And see what happens. You can even have a journal and you can write stuff down. It could just be words. It could be anything. It doesn't have to make sense. Your brain could still be thinking normal thoughts. That's okay too. You're not trying to stop your brain from thinking. You're just kind of just letting it know that we're in silence right now. Eventually, those thoughts will get less and less. And you can just be like, hey, I need some inspiration or insight on what my psychic abilities are. Or I need some insight of my messages. I need a message for my spirit guide. Or maybe you having some physical things happening, healing things. I need some insight on my healing. What direction should I go? What should I do? Type of thing. Because a lot of times we reach out to others for answers, which is fine. We all need support. But then we get everybody's thoughts and ideas in our heads. And if we don't take the time to go silent within ourselves and allow our own thoughts to be there, we can't hear what's really going on. So silence and stillness will help with that. I do recommend with a journal, write things down. It doesn't have to make sense. You may not get your answer that you need within that silent moment, but eventually you'll notice, okay, in your waking regular world, going about your day, things will start to come. It'll just start to come. So let's do a silent practice. Now, you don't need any tools for this. Legitly, you could just sit and be silent. I like tools. That's just me. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to show you what I do. I always light a candle. Doesn't matter what color or shape. And I always smudge before I go in because I just want to clear the energy from anything. My mind has been very active lately. So I'm just going to smudge. And you could do this with me or not. That's fine. And then we're just going to sit in silence together for 5 minutes. That's it. 5 minutes of silence. And you can take a drink, get settled, and keep your eyes open or closed. Just, I say, feel it out, whatever works for you. If you want to put an intention in this, like, I would like to know this certain thing or get a message from my spirit guide during this silent thing, you can do that. That's fine. If you have any wiggles, you can just kind of just wiggle things out and then just come to stillness. If stillness is not available to you, if that just doesn't feel comfortable to you or your nervous system, that's okay. I suggest rocking, moving side to side, just real gentle movement. You can even just kind of do like this. You can do some havening exercises like this. Just real gentle movement. All right, so I'm looking at the time. Okay, got the time. And let's just breathe normal. If you have your eyes open, you can just scan. And just take a breath. Release. And then you can go about your day. Maybe write down in your journal anything that came to you during this. Feel free to comment on this video what your intention was maybe for this, or what came to you, any questions you may have that I can answer for you. I recommend, again, 5 minutes. If you can only do 2 minutes right now, that's okay. Just start with 1 week doing the exact same amount of time every single day, and then the next week add on. And then go from there and see how you feel. Some days you might be doing 5 minutes of silent stillness. Other days you may be doing half hour. When I'm working with clients, when it comes to giving insight and working with oracle cards and things like that, whenever I do a video, when it comes to that, whenever I post insight, I always start with silence first before I go into it. That way I can clear out my own thoughts and I can clear out other people's thoughts and just get direct messages from spirit and my spirit guides and the person's spirit guides. And sometimes I do that days before the event. But I always do it right before. So I recommend, if you are working with oracle cards, tarot cards, and you're doing readings for yourself or others, take a few minutes of silence before you do it so that you can clear everything out and be a clear vessel for the messages coming through, so that you can make sure your ego is not running the show and that spirit is able to come through. And over time, learning the skill of silence and stillness, it becomes easier. I've been doing this for a long time, over 40 years. And with silence and stillness, I've been doing it probably over 20 years of using that specific skill with this. And it was a game changer for me. And so I hope that my lesson in my journey helps you speed things up a bit for your own journey and helps you develop the gifts that you want to develop and understand them and work with them. All right. I love you. Thank you for showing up for this video, and I will see you soon.